Hey guys, how you doing? I can see a few people are already on, so say hello if you can hear me. Let's just open the questions box so I can actually see your answers. Can we hear me? Or good, Mias can hear me. Mias, sorry, Richard, good. People can hear me, excellent. Okay, guys, well we'll probably wait for a couple of other people to show up. And I was, like I said in the email before, I was going to give you a presentation tonight, but I kind of wanted to get some questions from you guys instead, because there's no point in me just delivering content to you if it's not relevant and you don't need that content. So what I might do is I might extend the 5 weeks to 6 weeks based on what we talk about today. However, I may not need to. We may just be able to condense it into, the next few weeks. So I think it's important that I get to know exactly what you want help with. And I'm sure there's some things sort of cumulatively that you all need help with. And there'll be individual things that you need help with as well. So, and I can pretty much guarantee that if one person needs help in one aspect, other people will need help with that aspect of their online marketing as well. So, and the sort of reason I'm doing this is I was speaking at a conference this weekend. I was speaking at the UK Marketing Summit, and there's such a broad range of people in the audience that I could see, because I did my speak on Saturday morning, and then I could see sort of throughout the day and throughout the afternoon and throughout the following day that some people were getting very lost with some of the content that people were talking about. Some people were quite bored with some of the content people were talking about, just because there's such a vast mix of people and abilities in the room. So if that's all right with you guys, I thought I'd ask you the question. You can come to me with any questions that you want. I can answer them here, and I can also build those questions in to the additional presentations that we do. So does that make sense? Good, yes. It's Mies. Sorry, Mies. It looks like Myas, but it's Mies. Okay, that's cool. So there's a few of us here, and it may take us half an hour, it may take us an hour. I don't know. It depends what questions you guys have. And when I've done this before, people have sort of been very, I guess, shy. I'm not going to ask you to come live on the call. I mean, you're more than welcome to if you want to, but you can just drop the questions in the question box. And then whether it be I help you by going online and doing some research on your behalf, or whether we just talk through the issues that you're having and get some clarity, then we can look at it that way. Does that make sense? And do you think that's going to help people? I know, Mies, you sent me your outcome report today. Thank you for that. And you did say that you had a couple of questions that you wanted to ask me. So fire away. If Mies, we'll start with you. I'm going to pick on you to start with, okay? And I know that some guys have got questions. Okay. Mies' first question, guys. I'll read this out for you. If you woke up tomorrow morning to find that all your businesses had somehow completely disappeared overnight, and all you are left with was just your experience, what will be the first two projects that you start to get going again? Okay, it's a fair question, and actually someone asked that question this weekend. Now, are you assuming that I have limited funds, should we say, to do this? I'm assuming you are. Okay, so $250, sorry, £250, Mies has put there. Okay, well, look, let's just say, for argument's sake, I've got £1,000. Now, I know that I'm upping the amount there, but £1,000 is going to help you significantly more than £250. And I know that everybody has the ability to get $1,000 or £1,000. Now, that sounds quite flippant, but I know that most households have $1,500 worth or pounds worth of stuff that they can sell on eBay, if they could be bothered to. So the ability to earn or get together £1,000 is actually very achievable for everybody. you know, as long as you've got a house and you've got some content, and you know, your junk is other people's treasure, as they say. So let's just say I had, you know, roughly, you know, £1,000 or whatever. What would I do? I would basically, I'd do what we've done. I'd go and do some niche research, and again, I can do this online if you want. But I would basically find out some hot markets, find out what people are looking for, what solutions people are looking to have solved. And I would go and do some forum marketing. I would look into the forums. I would look at what questions are being asked. I would, if I was limited on funds, I would pick a topic that I knew something about, so that at least I could potentially start writing with, not necessarily with some authority, but with some background knowledge. Now, that's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be the case, because there's research out online that you could go and borrow and transform into your own words, essentially. And I'd just look for certain markets that have got some hot buttons. I'd do all the demographic profiling. I'd find out what their hot buttons are. I would create a squeeze page. You can do that for next to nothing. You could either outsource it, and if you're not technical, you could outsource it yourself. Get it built, write your guide, have a freebie download, and start building a little list based on some PPC traffic. And yeah, I mean, you could do some free traffic over time, but it would obviously, free traffic takes a little bit of time to come on board. That would be the first thing I do, and then you can start marketing to that list. And if you're providing good quality, valuable content to people that is genuinely helping them solve a problem, then you're going to get subscribers, you're going to get followers. And people will say, well, all the niches are taken and this, that, and the other. They're not at all. There's tens of thousands of niches out there, and as I said in, I think, one of the first presentations we did, 95% of people aren't going to like you, aren't going to find you, aren't going to like the content that you put out. So what? That means 5% of people are going to like you. And just because one person, or let's say there's 20 courses on dog training, for argument's sake, it doesn't matter. You can still go out there, create an information product if you wanted to, about dog training, and sell it and get people on a list, and people will buy. The other option that you have available to you is find some niches and markets where you know there are experts. So, for example, we'll use dog training again as an example. Wherever you are, whichever county you're in, whichever country you're in, there are going to be dog trainers. Okay? And people will take their dogs to dog training classes so that they can, you know, be better and whatever else. Now, these dog trainers are experts in dog training. Okay, they don't know anything about marketing. They don't know anything about online stuff. You could approach these people, and it could be sexual health experts. It could be dog trainers. It could be any market that you can feasibly think where there would be a need for information online. You could go to these experts, dog trainers, and say, okay, right, I have some skills online. I would like to take your products, your knowledge, your skills to the online marketplace. And if we can work together, I will help you market your products and sell your products through a different medium. And I will pay for all that. And let's just say, again, it costs you not a lot of money to set up a squeeze page, not a lot of money to set up a blog. As long as you can provide me with the content that you have. If you don't have content, let's film some content, and you go and film some content with them. Or you get the person to film it on your behalf, and you split the revenue down the middle, 50-50. Now, that's a cheaper way to create a product, okay? Because you can pretty much guarantee that not many people have, or not many offline people have online skills, and you will know more than they do already from just the few weeks that we've spent together. And I'm sure you've been dabbling online. Well, I know you've been dabbling online for the past couple of years, or a year or so. So you know infinitely more than people who don't know anything about internet marketing. So you can leverage your skills to help them get online, and you can take a chunk of the business. Okay? Now, I know people who do this already. And I know people who do this are earning $2,000 a week just from helping people who don't know about online marketing to get online. The person who has the knowledge and the skills is happy because they're getting an additional revenue stream for doing nothing other than creating a bit of content or giving someone content that they've already got. You'll be happy because you're making revenue and you've not created any content. So does that kind of answer your question, Mies? So there's a couple of ways around it. You can either create your own product. I mean, there's other alternatives as well. You could buy stock and sell stock in a particular marketplace. And if you've got £1,000, you can. There's always stock you can buy to resell. But what most people do when they buy stock is they will buy stock. They'll see that they've had a nice influx of cash or a little bit of a cash injection, and believe it or not, everyone knows that they should be reinvesting that cash back into the business and growing the stock and doing a bit of marketing and this and that and whatever they need to do. A lot of people will go and spend that money because they'll go and buy a new pair of jeans or they'll go and do something, and that money's wasted. So they're never growing the business. They're not reinvesting in the business. So that you can either buy stock, you can create your own stock by looking at create your own products, information products, videos, guides, tutorials, whatever it may be, for next to nothing by doing some research online or outsourcing it. Or you can go and find experts, interview them, an interview costs next to nothing, and basically tell them that you will take their content online but you want a revenue share. You do a 50-50, 60-40, whatever it may be. You share the list, you give them the list, whatever. There's a number of ways to do this, but that is what I would go and do, okay? And a lot of people in this. Okay, so let me ask people a question here, okay? I want a genuine answer here. Do you want to teach people how to make money online in the internet marketing arena, or do you want to make money online? Does that make sense? Because a lot of people see that the internet marketing niche is quite scammy, okay? And by the internet marketing niche, I mean teaching other people how to make money online by teaching other people how to make money online, if that makes sense. So Mies just wants to make money somehow. And the best way to make money online, the internet marketing niche, so teaching other people how to teach other people how to make money online, is a tiny, tiny, tiny incestuous niche. And it's not very nice. It's kind of backstabbing, and a few individuals monopolise the marketplace. But the skills that you learn here, and by reading and buying, embarrassing dropshipping and whatever else, the skills that you learn are applicable to pretty much any market out there online. So dog training, sexual health, as I've said. I'm struggling to think of niches at the moment, but you know what I mean. You get the picture. So sexual health, and it could be G-spot orgasms. It could be how to last longer in bed. It could be how to be a better lover. It could be how to increase your libido. Dog training, or gardening, or things like that. Those are the markets that will tick over and make you money, as opposed to teaching people how to make money online. Okay? So Mies has just said it. I'm thinking of time. Affiliate marketing is quicker because the product is already there. Creating your own is more lucrative but takes more time. Yes, that is true. Affiliate marketing is still a good marketplace. But again, affiliate marketing is probably easier in less well-known niches. Look at Mike Geary and his Truth About Abs. There are always going to be people who want to have a six-pack. There are always going to be people who want to lose weight. There are always going to be people who want to learn how to bake a cake. There are always going to be people who want to learn how to cook effectively and properly, and vegan diets and this, that and the other. So if you're looking at affiliate marketing, I would look at, and again, affiliate marketing is incredibly quick and easy to test. You set up a squeeze page through an autoresponder. You can use MailChimp for free and buy some traffic to the squeeze page. Or I would set up 2 or 3 squeeze pages, so you're split testing, in all honesty. Drive traffic to the squeeze page. See which one converts the best. Set up a very compelling autoresponder sequence, and a blog ideally. You want a blog to run alongside this with some information on. Provide people with good quality information, and then recommend a product to them. And that is essentially affiliate marketing. I wouldn't go down the Amazon route for marketing physical products because your percentage payouts are atrocious. You get between 4 and 8%. And you never get to know who the buyer is. So you can never follow up. You can never do any follow-up marketing with that person through Amazon. Okay? So Richard wants to make money online. Michael, I would want to make money first before I teach others. Exactly. You're absolutely right, Michael. There's so many people out there who think that making money online is dead easy and teaching other people how to do it is dead easy. And 99% of the products that are out there that are teaching people how to make money online are by people who've never made money online themselves. And that's worrying to me. You know, that shouldn't happen. Only the qualified people, you know, in theory, should be teaching people how to make money online. Okay? So that's the way I see it anyway. Let's have a look here. Okay, so squeeze pages. Mies is asking about squeeze pages. Yeah, I can do a session on that. You can get someone to set one up. You can outsource it very cheaply. You can use something called OptimizePress to set up a squeeze page. And I think I've shown you before, but let me just show you a quick image here. I'm just going to share my screen, guys. Okay. Okay, so can you see the screen? This was my presentation from the weekend, actually. You'll have seen this before. See the screen there? Yeah, good. That's a squeeze page. That's an HTML squeeze page. You can use OptimizePress to create squeeze pages. This is another squeeze page. Video.com. Another squeeze page there. And all it is capturing information. So you've got your Aweber form or your autoresponder form that you pop in here. This is a more... Ooh, where's it gone? This is a more effective one. Obviously based on the sexual health market. This one targets women. This one targets men. But effectively you get a nice image based on the market that you're going into. You buy those from iStock or Shutterstock. Make sure you've got the rights to use them royalty free, and which you normally do have when you buy from one of these places. And an outsourcer should charge you no more than, I would say, $50 to do this. $50 would be expensive because it doesn't take them long to do it all. If you used OptimizePress, you would have to buy OptimizePress. But again, you know, OptimizePress is, I think, $97, $197, something like that. But then you have the ability to build your own websites with OptimizePress and build your own squeeze pages with OptimizePress. So swings and roundabouts. OptimizePress is that is OptimizePress there. I know there's a video going to load in a minute, so let me just stop that.
You're about to discover the fast...
Okay, we stopped that. I'm not quite sure how much it is. Let's just have a quick look for you. $97, there you go. Okay, it's $97. And it's not a bad tool, okay? I say I use it in my business all the time. My web guy uses it in the business all the time when we're doing membership sites and squeeze pages, and we don't really use it for sales letters, but there's an awful lot of flexibility with that, shall we say, okay? Right, hopefully that Miz. I'm going to move on to Douglas now, if that's okay, and then we can, if you've got any other questions, by all means think about them and jot them down. Douglas, I know you strongly suggest WordPress. I've used it and also Wix, which I prefer. What is the big advantage of WordPress? I have a Wix site built I'm going to use Magento as you suggested, but don't mention product, please. That's fine, Doug. I haven't used Wix personally. My sister has for one of her sites. She has a number of sort of, fashion and jewellery sites. And she had nothing but issues with Wix and a developer with Wix. That is as much as I know about Wix in all honesty. I know WordPress has better plugins, it has better SEO options. Google prefer WordPress sites, but at the end of the day, SEO is not a dying art. SEO now is all focused on content, okay? So if you can provide good quality content, then it doesn't really, you know, your link building and this, that and the other, that has less impact now on terms of ranking your websites. It's all about the content. So if you can provide good quality content through your Wix site, you've got good, simple navigation, then you're fine. Basically, you want to make your website as user-friendly for the end user as feasibly possible, okay? So if you're happy using Wix, then use Wix. You know, use what you're good at. There's no point in learning WordPress again or learning WordPress from scratch if you have skills with Wix. So, you know, I'd go with that. And if there's plugins you can have, I don't know whether Wix has plugins for Magento and things like that. I genuinely don't know. I mean, let's just have a look, shall we? Let's just have a quick look here. Okay, so there's a lot of sites created with Wix. Drag and drop. Customize. So I don't know whether you can get plugins. You might be able to answer the question, Douglas. Can you get plugins? It looks though they've customized video, publish online easily. I don't know. Maybe you can. Is that Magento there? Price e-commerce site. Yeah, that's already integrated with Magento by the looks of things. I don't know whether Magento will own Wix. They may well do. So fine. No issues with you doing that at all, okay? Mies is asking another question. Where do you host that? Is it on a blog connected to the niche you want to create around it? You're talking OptimizePress. OptimizePress is effectively WordPress. So you install OptimizePress onto your WordPress, into your WordPress CMS. It's like a theme, effectively. And that's the way you go about setting up OptimizePress, okay? Michael has said, I have a squeeze page and made a little bit of money from it, but not anything earth-shattering. Michael, are you happy to share your squeeze page so I can have a look at it and critique it? Because if not, that's fine. We can do it privately. I don't think anyone here will go and steal your marketplace. But if you're not happy to share it, that's absolutely fine. I'd just be interested to see the site and see whether we can improve the conversion rate, basically. Because basically what we're looking at is conversion rates and strong calls to action on squeeze pages. Okay, we've got Richard has asked a question here. He's got a market that interests him. This is something that, okay, so I used to suffer from this particular issue badly. I was told that my doctors that it's something I would have to live with and there's no cure. Guess what? I'm completely cured. The cure was something I stumbled on by mistake. I could tell you how to cure myself in a few sentences. So how do I cure? Richard, I mean, if that, yes, that marketplace is good. It will always have people. It's an evergreen market. There will always be people who suffer from that particular issue. If you can create a squeeze page in a blog that helps people how to cure it quickly, then is there a lot of value in it? Could you create a guide or a very short video series on how to cure that particular issue and sell it for a sum of money? Potentially. The problem with that market is there's nowhere to go afterwards. So, you know, as I say, there will always be an influx of people wanting to cure that issue, but there's nothing else you can sell afterwards. You know, it's not like a sexual health market, for example, where there's room to grow. This particular market, there's no room to grow in reality. But, you know, yes, if you could do that, then yeah, absolutely, no problem with that at all. Douglas, WordPress. No, stick with Wix, Douglas. It's absolutely fine. Oh, yeah, Richard just said he sent the question before he'd finished it. Yeah. So, yeah, how do I turn the issue into a product? Well, as I said, you can either write a short guide on it, or if it's something that you could create a mini video series on, or have the guide, so you write a guide, maybe it's 10, 15, 20 pages long, whatever it may be. You could offer part of that guide or a quick fix as a download on a squeeze page, or a short video on the best tips and tricks to get rid of the particular issue. And then they come through that, they go onto an autoresponder sequence, or you upsell them straight away to the actual full video series. And maybe it's a series of 5 videos that walk you through the exact process. And you don't have to be online, you don't have to be speaking to the camera when you're doing this. It could be just PowerPoint, screen recordings with good resources and good calls to action, and telling people exactly what to do and when to do it. And again, that's a video series, that's a video product. And video products have a higher perceived value than a guide. Okay, so you could charge a little bit more for that. So maybe you could charge, I don't know how in-depth this product could be, but if it solves a problem, people will pay money for it. You will get, so if it solves a problem, people will pay money for it. And if it does actually genuinely solve their problem, you're going to get testimonials from them, which you can then take online. There's social proof that it's actually working, and you can make more money out of it. Okay? Okay, so Michael, do you mind if I show this page? Okay, no, he doesn't mind. Okay, that's fine. Let me just okay, this is Michael's page here. Okay, so first things that I would say are, I've got a big computer screen and I'm still having to scroll. Okay, it's not a bad squeeze page. It could be an awful lot better. Subscribers only. Doesn't need to be there. You don't need that. It doesn't mean anything to anyone. I would completely change the copy on it. I don't want, looking at this, I don't want to read it. Okay, look at this. As, oh, come on. Now, look at that. Simple. Are you sexually cliterate? I mean, I could leave that, just that header there. Give me less than an hour and I'll supercharge your sex life. Take this section out here, and I would guarantee I get more sign-ups than that. I mean, just the difference is, this is super easy to see what you're getting. As is this. This is for women. Bullet points, be an object of desire. All women want to be an object of desire. If they are suffering low libido, they want to reclaim it, they want to get the sexual spark back, they want to reignite the passion. Discover fast, simple ways to boost it, pinpoint and avoid the sex drive killers, explode your sexual desire. Much easier on the eye, much easier to read, much easier to say, oh, hell yeah, you know, I need to solve this problem now. Email, job done, sorted. Here, I've got to read a lot of stuff, okay? So what I'd do is, A, have you built a list? Let's just have a yes in there or no, Michael. Okay, good, you've got a list. Okay, that's fine, that's good. So you've done what a lot of people online haven't been able to do. So you do have proof that you have built a list, which is excellent. Now, I quite like this. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Fine. Have that as a header. People like people who are brutally honest with them. Okay? Revise your copy. There's too much going on. maybe I'd have a look at redoing the cover on this as well. Make it a bit more... I don't know, it just looks a little bit dull to me. I'd look at having it, you know, a bit more in your face, a nicer imagery perhaps. But I'd literally get rid of all that. I'd only collect people's email addresses as well. People tend to sign up more if it's just an email address. Here's just say what you're about to discover. Yeah, I'd take a couple of these bullet points, maybe reword them, maybe add a couple more. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If you're not building a list, your business is dead in the water. Something like that. Here is what you need to do. Bang, 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 bang. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Bang, done. Call to action. Have a nice arrow sort of swooping up here. Pop your email in here now for instant access to the best and quickest list building strategies you will ever get. You know, so something like that. You know, just thinking off the top of my head, I'd have to think a little bit harder. But certainly cut it down. Make sure it's above the fold. The whole page is above the fold. Bullet points. People read bullet points. Make it enticing and have a strong call to action. And away you go. Maybe you offer a video guide on how to build a list instead. So, hey guys, click through to watch this video as I walk you through the process on how to build a profitable email list. Something like that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Okay, Daryl. My problem is not knowing what to do with the list when built. For example, I have a small list of around 500 in a self-help niche tag. I'm not sure what to mail them besides other offers. Build trust with them, Daryl, okay? If it's self-help, there's... do you mind sharing with me what the niche is? I won't say it to any other people, just so I know how to respond to your question, really, Daryl. Daryl, you still there, buddy? He's still there. Okay. Do you mind me sharing that? Just so I can talk around it a bit more? Okay. It's a law of attraction meditation. Okay. So, the original question is not knowing what to mail them. Okay, so tell a story. Okay, so tell a story. People like stories. Your follow-ups, if you've got 500 people on there, I mean, yes, you should be offering them stuff. Yes, you could actually go and have your own product created. But in terms of the question and the autoresponder follow-up, tell them a story about how Joe Bloggs was a complete disaster with women. And no matter what he did, no matter what bar he went to, you know, he went to salsa classes, he went out in bars, he went to clubs, he went to, you know, the beach and this, that and the other. And he constantly had issues with attracting the other sex. You know, he was a reasonably handsome guy, because all blokes think they're handsome. But yet there was something missing. And he wasn't quite sure what it was. And tell a little story round Mr. Joe Bloggs. And how all of a sudden he found the key to attracting other people. And it was to do with meditation. And he sat down and he thought about what he really wanted. And he pictured himself meeting girls. And the girls were finding him funny and attractive. And they wanted to be around him. And X, Y, and Z. And if you could tell that story over 5, 6, 7 days, or maybe 2, 3 times a week, leave some cliffhangers there. So if you watch like a series on TV, you know, they'll leave you with a cliffhanger so that you have to watch it the next day or the next episode. Do that with your email messages. You know, make them want to get your email. Oh, I can't believe he's not emailing me now. I can't believe he's not telling me the rest of this story now. So they have to come back the next day and read it. And that's the way you can hook them into good and better offers. But then following that, you can offer them some good advice and tips and tricks. Hey guys, okay, I appreciate the fact that, you know, maybe you didn't want to buy that product. That's not a problem at all. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks anyway, you know, and over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to give you 2 tips a week that I want you to go out and try when you're out and about with the girls, when you're out and about in a bar. And this is tip number 1. And before you go out, I want you to sit down in your favourite place and turn the lights off and think about X, Y, and Z. And I mean, the way to do that could be you could buy a couple of the products that are in the marketplace and get some tips out of those. You could do some research online, get some tips out of those. So you want to be communicating with them on a regular basis, not every day, but just, you know, be the authority in the marketplace. You know, give yourself, I don't know whether you've got a pen name, give yourself a pen name and tell stories about yourself and how you did it. And it's, obviously, I don't want you to be bending the truth massively. You've got to be realistic, but tell stories and just offer them good advice and tips. And you don't have to email them every day, and don't promote to them every day. Build trust and empathise with them as well, because these guys, you know, if they're struggling to get girlfriends and this, that and the other, they've got low self-esteem. So how can they boost their low self-esteem? How can they build the confidence? Can you advise them on what clothes to wear? Or, you know, how to lose a little bit of weight, for argument's sake. Okay? So does that sort of answer your question? Yes, so yeah, Daryl's just saying, so this would be the initial follow-up sequence after they join, right? Yes, exactly, yeah. So you just empathise with them, build their trust, and once they begin to trust you, you can then start offering them products. And, you know, if you can provide enough good advice by doing some digging online, then that could form part of a product that you could create, okay? I'm just going to go back up, guys, to see where we're up to with questions. Okay, yes. So hopefully that answers your question, Darryl, okay? Richard. So is it worth the effort? Basically, yes. I mean, what a lot of people struggle with online is they'll... once you get a blog, let's just say you get a blog in this particular niche, Richard or Darryl or whatever. Once you set your blog up and your squeeze page, and you've tested a few different options of your squeeze page, and you've got one that works. I mean, you should continually test anyway. But anyway, so you get a couple, you test one that works, or even just get one up to begin with. Once you've got one up, it is super easy to duplicate and replicate that blog over and over and over and over and over again. So you have the same layout, you have the same navigation, you have the same squeeze page, but with different copy and different images on. And it becomes incredibly quick to set up new sites, new squeeze pages, and you could set one up in, you know, half an hour, and then obviously you've got to get your content put on there. But the main site is done and dusted, so you can go into new niches very, very quickly. So yeah, there's no harm in trying this market at all, Richard, because if it doesn't work, then okay, fine, we've tried it, we move on to the next one. But I know that that market does sell, but it's very difficult to... There's very few additional products we can tie into that. But I know people that are in the gout niche and they do incredibly well. And with gout, what else do you sell after you've sold them the cure to gout? Nothing. Very difficult. Okay. Douglas is asking, domain names. How important is it to integrate exact match, broad match keywords into your domain name? So back end of last year, people were saying exact match domain names are gone. You know, they don't mean anything nowadays. I still like and use exact match domain names. Okay, Google don't penalise you for them. All you've got to do is they just don't. Online now is all about relevant content and good content. Okay, so if you've got an exact match domain and you've got a load of shit content on there, you're not going to rank for that particular keyword. If you've got an exact match domain with good content about that particular keyword or that particular niche or issue or whatever, you will rank because you've got good content. And that's what it's all about. So no issues with exact match domains at all. Broad, exact, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. Where do you get photos from? Photos, guys, I go to either. You've got iStock Photos here. You've got Shutterstock here. I tend to use these two, basically, iStock and Shutterstock. There are others out there. To be honest, I can't remember them. But for argument's sake, let's just look at... well, seems as though we've been talking about it. Let's see what comes up. So Libido. You've got all sorts of images there, okay? Likewise, baking. Tens of thousands of images, you know, baking and cooking and whatever. Prices vary. iStock's a little bit cheaper, I think. I can't remember the actual prices of them. Oh, there you go. You got some there. Credits. So 14 downloads, 10 quid, give or take. I think one small download is 1 credit, if I remember correctly. Shutterstock is more expensive. I tend to, if I'm doing a few new sites, I'll buy the monthly package so I can download as many photos as I want in a month. It costs me about £140 a month, but if I'm doing 15 sites, it makes sense. If not, I'll just buy them individually or buy, 10, 15 downloads. So, I tend to use those two. There are other places out there. I think there's one called... iStock, Big Stock Photo, and there's one called Dreams Time as well. Yeah, Dreams Time I've used, I think. Yeah, so there's a few out there, basically. Okay. More pictures, less words, Michael. Yes, correct. Good idea. Okay. Love attraction, sure. Got cool. Down. Okay, so there's a bit of follow-up. Yeah, yeah. That is helpful. Good. I hope that has been okay. Mies. Okay, we've got a question for Mies. Talking gout as an example. Would you rather go for a domain like stopthepain.com or stopthegout.com? With the first try, you can easily expand into other areas like arthritis, fibromyalgia, neck pain, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, it depends what you want to do. Stopthepain.com is a good domain. And obviously what you would have to do is, over time, or when you launch the site, you would have to have at least a few different niches that you could help people stop the pain in. But yeah, if you want to go after an individual site, go gout. Why not do both? Because you could link back from the gout site to stop the pain site, and you could have a load of satellite sites, all to do with pain relief. So, as you say, fibromyalgia and so on and so forth, arthritis, neck pains, whatever. Satellite sites that are as good exact match domains as possible that all link through to the main site that has some good relevant content on there as well. Okay, make sense? Yep, good. Okay, guys, come on. We've got a few minutes left yet. Let's see what other questions you've got. You've got to have some other questions on niches, markets, marketing, how to put the sites together, what content to write for the sites, where to find the content for the sites, what traffic to use, what themes to use, and so on and so forth. I know you've all got you must have some other questions sat at the back of your minds. So we've covered a few things there. Okay, Douglas, my wife is a genealogy nut, knows it inside out. Good market. Looking at guides, videos, affiliate links, member clubs, etc. Now, genealogy. I don't think I'm being stupid when I think I know what it is. I'm just going to double check. Yes, ancestry type stuff. Okay, yeah. You know what? I don't know whether it's a good market or not. Family history, yeah. Ancestry.co.uk are a massive, massive website who do ridiculous amounts of money, I think. Have they got the market sewn up? I don't know. If she's passionate about it, then I'd have to do some digging research on keyword searches, volumes, the competition who's out there, what products are out there, because I guess, genealogy, all people want to know is about their family history. And if there's Ancestry.co.uk and a couple of bigger sites out there that have kind of got it covered, it might be a very difficult market to crack into. That would be my only concern with that one. And I would imagine that obviously it's all to do with public records and sort of delving back through history. There'd be an awful lot of work involved and a lot of time involved as well. So to answer your question, I don't honestly know, but my initial instinct would be it would be quite difficult to get into. I wonder whether... Let's just have a look. The Genealogist Affiliate Program. Okay, so you could become an affiliate to these people and drive traffic to them. So registered affiliates are entitled to a commission of 30% for annual premium subscriptions. So you get 35 quid for each diamond subscription sale from your website. Ancestry's got an affiliate program. They pay 20 grand a month in commission. So basically, yes, you could drive traffic to a number of these websites and earn affiliate commissions. So that would be the way to do it, I guess. As opposed to going into it yourself and creating a site about genealogy. So yeah, potential. Anything else, guys? Do we have any other questions about any sites, any markets, autoresponder sequences, or imagery to use on the site? I'll show you a site that this isn't my site, actually, and I actually really like this site. I think it's a very well put together website, and I know that this lady does about £500,000 a year, I think, give or take, if not more now, I would guess. But I really like the layout of it. It's part of the Mindvalley company now. They helped to set this up. In particular, I like her products page. I think it's very... my computer's been quite slow today. But it's a very well put together page. Loads of information, Slider that you can click on here. And then it only starts mentioning the product down at the bottom. And here are your options. I like this as a site. I think it's very well put together. It's very easy to navigate. It's colourful, yet simple, and we're actually starting to model a number of our sites on this particular site, just because again, look at the amount of content on here versus the amount of selling that they're doing. So she's giving away so much content, and that's all the selling they're doing. Now, I think what they've done is they've put a number of WordPress themes together to get this site, so they've obviously had some developers working on it. So you can't just buy this theme and crack on and create something like this. But once I've got mine sorted out, I've not got a problem sort of showing you guys what we've done and how we went about doing it. But it just gives you an idea to have a look at some themes. And I mean, do people know where to get themes from? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I like Woo themes. I like new WP themes, and I like this is where I tend to look for themes. Okay, Forest themes, new WP themes, and Woo themes. I always tend to look for two column sites realistically. So you can have a if you haven't got a theme, by all means have a look at these. Some of them are some of them are relatively cheap, some of them are more expensive. But it just gives you an idea as to what's out there to pick and choose to create your own website. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Have you found this useful? Do you think has this been a useful call? And what would you like to see and hear about next week? Because I'll go off what you want to do. Because I mean, next week I can talk about. Obviously, we've spoken about niches and finding markets and digging into those. Obviously, you need to know how to build a website. I'm not the most techie person in the world, and I've given you some WordPress training anyway. But I don't want to sort of jump the gun and start talking about driving traffic to websites, because if you haven't got websites up and running, then there's no point in driving traffic to them. You're just going to feel a bit lost and a bit left behind. So I want to work at your pace and make sure that you're getting the most out of this, so that we can get you online and get you making money. Okay. Me say walk through case study step by step of one of your sites. Richard, how to get your website up and running. Aweber lists, email marketing. So there's a number of things that we need to sort of go over, which is fine. We can go over those, and obviously I'm recording this so I can keep a note of this. But walkthrough of sites, and again, there's different sites out there, Mies, and we can look at a couple of them. Maybe I'll show you an e-commerce site now, which is not the prettiest site in the world. Very simple. It's an e-commerce site selling one product. Buy now. It's got some content, good information about dark eye circles and whatever else, and it literally clicks through to a buy now page, and well, that shouldn't be there. Anyway, I'll speak to my web guy about that. And you can buy now. Very, very simple site. That is what, for as I say, a physical product that we sell. There's nothing much to it, in all honesty. It's a site that we drive traffic to that makes money. Probably, I have to check the revenue. It's a few £100 a week, £300-400 a week just on this particular product, and I don't touch it. I never touch it. So I can show you an affiliate site as well. I'll have a look for one of those next week for you to pick out a good one. But yeah, so there's e-commerce, or there's selling physical products, there's being affiliates for physical products, and review type sites, or driving traffic to other sites and whatever. So it's picking what you want to do. In reality, you've got to think about the market you want to go into. You've got to have found that market, because as I say, I've got a number of sites that are based on this template. They look pretty much the same, different colours, different images, different copy, but they're the same. They're just duplicated across the board because it's easy to do. Okay. Mies is asking if I've done a Facebook page. I've got a few Facebook pages. We're going to be looking into that going further forward, but a lot of our stuff is sort of sexual health related, and they're not. There's a few sexual health pages on Facebook. People aren't massively open to talking about it in some of the markets anyway. So yes and no is the answer to that question. We should point out good and bad websites. Yeah. Traffic. Yeah, most people's nemesis online, traffic. White label or own label products. Again, if you're talking physical products, you want to start selling the manufacturers at the outset, because they have the brand name behind it. If you're looking at depending on what markets you go into, and how you white label it, because white labeling can cost a lot of money, and white labeling is effectively putting your own brand and creating your own product, and you've got to do your own marketing and so on and so forth. But if the product's good and the market's good, and you've got a good brand and you've got some good imagery and you can create some nice, compelling graphics that can, create this big brand about a product, then yes, you can white label, no problem at all. Richard, are your products sold on autopilot? Yeah, effectively, Richard. We've got fulfillment houses that deal with them. Some of them are obviously affiliate products and drop shipped as well. So yeah, we do very little with them. We don't touch them. We do keep some stock just in case the fulfillment house hasn't got any. I mean, these guys don't drop ship at all with Vitalume. It's just something they said they've considered it. They don't even have an affiliate program, and they've said they've considered that. And I've told them I'll help them set it up for some revenue share, but they don't seem to be interested for some reason. But yeah, so again, depends on your products. But yeah, you can automate most things nowadays. You can get VAs to do your customer service. You can get fulfillment houses to ship your goods out. There's a number of ways to do things. Okay. Would I use a fulfillment house straight away? No, I'd probably fulfill myself, because you're not going to get mega volumes to begin with. So if you can buy stock in and ship it out yourself, then yeah, there's no issues with that at all. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Most companies nowadays don't have massive minimum order quantities. Some are about 100. Some have no minimum order quantities at all. So you can buy one unit if you wanted to and ship it in. Okay. Anything else, guys? Do we have any other questions before we wrap up? Is there anything else that you need to know from me? Obviously, I can go back through the video and have a look at the questions you've got and what you want me to cover next week. Nothing else? Sure? Pleasure. Doug? As I say, guys, if there's anything that you need... John, you've kept very quiet throughout this. I don't know whether you have anything you need to ask me or want to ask me. I've not even seen a question from you, John. So I don't know whether you are still listening. But if anyone does have anything, you can always drop me a Skype message or an email. Mies is saying that's enough to soak up right now. That's fine. He'll email tomorrow. How do you get content for this site? Did you write it yourself? My Skype, guys, is In Confidence. INCONFIDENCE. In Confidence. Content for this site, Michael, was outsourced. I outsourced it all. I didn't write a thing on this site. And I think I use these guys for this service. Yeah, I use these guys for that, iWriter. I have started using a new company called Content Pros. And they've just done some article writing for me, and they were pretty good, to be honest. Not all the writers on iWriter are native English speakers. I've found that the writers on here tend to be native English speakers, which makes a big difference. Remember, good quality, well-worded content is the order of the day for Google. So you don't want someone writing content whose first language isn't English, okay? These guys were good. So they're more expensive, but they were good. And they do ebook writing, so they can create products for you. They're ghost writers. So think about using them. And I should really send you my affiliate link for this, but I won't. So it's just one of those. Have a look at these guys. Okay. I'm just popping my Skype in there, guys, so you should be able to see that In Confidence. Okay. Did the outsourcing cost much? Well, let's put it this way. I've just had, I think, 35, 40 articles written by these guys, and I wanted 600 to 700 word articles. Okay, Skype's quick. yeah, 35, 40 articles, 600 to 700 words each, and I think it cost me $300, $350, which sounds like a lot, but for 35 articles, it's not actually that much. And it was very good content. It was a bit of an obscure market that I wanted them to write about. So I will have to go and change a couple of the articles that they wrote, but not to a massive extent. They did a good job. Let's put it that way. Okay. Do they have reasonable rates? Yeah, I mean, you can have a look here, guys. Services, article writing. There's your cost per article. Now, they will do a deal with you. I'll tell you that now. Just tell them that you're not. It's a bit steep, and you can't really afford that, and that they should do a deal with you. They did with me anyway. I just told them that I needed it cheaper, and they agreed to do it. And then after I had those articles done, they offered me 25% discount on the next lot that I was going to have done as well. So remember, everything's always negotiable. Okay. Anything else, guys, that you need to know while I'm here that you can potentially go on? I mean, I would like to see you guys get some sites up, obviously, while we're going through this training, because I can help you create a site that looks good, has good content on there, has good navigation, is easy to use, and has some strong call to action. You know, basically, you want people to get good quality information, but you also want them to take some form of action on your website, because ultimately, you want them to buy something from you. So if we can get some sites up whilst we're going through this training, it'd be massively beneficial to you guys. Okay? So what I suggest you do this week is pick your niche, okay, and get some content written or write it yourself. Then get a theme sorted, get it online. We can then start creating content, making the sites look good, okay? Just see if there's any more questions, guys. There's no more questions, so that's fine. We'll leave it there. If you do have... why did you tell me to get rid of... Michael said, why did you tell me to get rid of AdSense? I personally don't like sites with AdSense. Google are penalising AdSense-heavy sites now. Okay? AdSense, you're making someone click away from your website first and foremost. You want to keep them on your pages and keep them within your site. You don't want them to leave. The ultimate goal is to get them to buy money. AdSense revenue is directly proportionate to the amount of traffic you send to a website. If you can't drive traffic to a website, there's no point in having it there anyway. And it just clutters up the page. It looks messy. It's 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you could have made a lot of money out of AdSense revenue. Nowadays, it is so much harder. And it's like banner blindness. You know, people get banner blindness when they're looking online. It's the same with AdSense. People are just tuned in to ignore it. And I don't have any AdSense on any of my sites. I think it's a complete and utter waste of time, to be blunt, Michael. It looks messy. It's counterproductive, really. Just focus your time on, you know, if you can drive a ton of traffic to your website, you want those people to be lapping up the information that you're giving them, and then ultimately you want them to buy something from you. You don't want them to click away from a website. So that's the reason I sort of told you to get rid of it. And you know, yeah. Make sense? Okie dokie, good. Okay, guys, well, put me on Skype. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll go through them with you. I'll get this video up again, because I'm sure there'll be some things that you want to go through and re-watch and re-listen to. And we shall reconvene next week, if that's all right with you guys. But as I say, any questions, email me or Skype me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? Well, have a good evening, guys, and I shall speak to you soon.